So we've had the adults talking about their hints and tips. So maybe it's time to let the kids do the talking. I'm going to let you meet my family and see what they have to say coming right up. Yes, good evening and welcome to Your Florida Adventures, the show where we chat to our guests about their love of Florida and we find out about their hints and tips to help you plan your next Florida trip. My name is Lewis and I will be your host for the next 60-ish minutes, maybe a little bit more. Let's see how this goes. And first and foremost, I absolutely love Florida. I love all things about it. We try and get there as regularly as possible. And I love it so much that I actually set up my own travel agency business, which specializes in the US and in Florida. Because I just love to chat Florida and hopefully help people get the best out of their holidays. I also, as a fan, love to talk about Florida. It's like if I can't be there, I just want to talk about it. And this time we're going to be a little bit different. I mean, I have guests this time, but this is actually an introduction to some of my family who are going to be joining me today. And we're going to discover why they love Florida so much, and probably particularly the Disney parks and the Universal parks as well. Now, whether you have been to Florida loads of times before or you're planning your very first trip, we really do hope that this show and the shows before it and the shows that are to come will help you with your planning of your trips and maybe give you something new to think about. So if you're watching live, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Do join in the conversation. Do ask some questions. Do say hello. And I'm just going to check and see who's on there right now. So we've got the Perrin family. Hi, Danny. How you doing? Hi, Joe. Nice to see you. Hi, Jenny. How you doing? Andy, Mr. Andy Robson. Good to see you. Paula, great to see you. And I'm sure there's loads of other people watching too. So yes, it's going to be a great show. And I'm going to introduce you to my guests tonight. So I've known these guys for some time, it's fair to say, because yes, it's my family. Well, it's most of my family. So I'm going to introduce you. First of all, I'm going to introduce you, Evie.
Hello.
Hi, Evie. And
Hello.
And then hi, and I'm going to introduce Freddie.
Hey.
Hi, Freddie.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good, excellent. So
I'm in the Disney spirit.
You are. That's good. I can see that with your Pixar top and your Stitch picture in the background. So that's really awesome. And I just wanted to say one thing. So last time we came back from Florida, or maybe the time before, you two started up your own YouTube channel about Disney. Can you remember what it was called?
Yeah. It was called Disney As It Is.
Disney As It Is. I haven't got any clips or anything, so don't worry about that. So, but okay, I just think it's quite strange that I've got you two on my show, so it's just like that's just a bit of a role reversal going on right there. So I just wanted to drop that in, but well, let me just introduce you guys properly. So Evie is my daughter.
Hello.
And you are. And how old are you, Evie?
I'm 15. I'm old.
You're 15. Yeah, I've known Evie all of her life, so
oh wow,
it's quite helpful. Yeah. And Freddie is my stepson, and Freddie is going to be 15 very soon. So if you want to drop in, if you want to drop him a birthday card or anything after this, if you get some fans, then
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, I'm sure he will too. I'm sure he will. So, how are you feeling about this, guys? Evie, how are you feeling about this?
I'm excited. It's finally my turn. I've been watching every single one of them, and I'm like, yes, this week is our week.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, it is. Indeed. And Freddie, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm excited as well. A bit of chit chat about Disney. What isn't there to like about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, we'll ask the guys on the chat if they've got any questions that they want to ask you.
Ask us questions. We love questions.
we do love questions, and we do honestly, genuinely, we do love talking about Disney, don't we? Because it's literally the only thing
that's the only thing we talk about.
As a family, that's the only thing really that kind of binds us together. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. So I'd like you guys just to tell the listeners and the people watching, if you can recall your earliest Florida memory. Evie, tell us about that.
I think my earliest would have to be the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. What year was it? Was it 2009?
2009 was the first time yeah.
So I think I was Belle, wasn't I? So I went to the Bibbidi Boutique. I was 4 years old, and they did all my hair and my makeup, and I dressed up as Belle. And then we went on the carousel afterwards. That was my earliest memory.
Yeah, I'm genuinely gutted I don't have a photo of that with us, but there you go. And Freddie, do you remember that? What's your earliest memory?
Well, I didn't go for the first time to Florida until 2013, I think. But I especially remember when my cousins Jamie and Jonah came down to Florida and met us there. I really liked that. That's what I remember.
Yeah, definitely. Your cousins, your uncle and auntie live in Atlanta, and they came down for a few days and joined us. So that was really special on our first trip as a whole unit to go. We went with Grandma and Granddad Miller as well. So that was a great trip. And go on.
I was gonna say the Tigger thing as well. That I remember that very well. The Tigger encounter with Granddad.
Yeah. And do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, it was at Crystal Palace, and we had Tigger kept coming to our table. Tigger and Granddad definitely made quite a bond in that day.
They did. Yeah. They did. Absolutely. So we've already got a couple of questions coming in. So let's kind of go to those first, and then we can talk about our journey, so to speak. So Dell's asking, hopefully that'll come up on the screen. So well done on editing those videos, Evie, the ones that you've been doing for me. Thank you so much. What's the scariest rides that you've ever been on? Evie, I'll go to you first.
So I'm quite known in the family because I don't like drop rides. So anything that goes down, I don't like. So in the queue of Tower of Terror, I was freaking out because I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I think there's a photo of me on Tower of Terror and I'm just screaming. And these two are looking at me like, why are you screaming? It's not even that bad. But I'm just so scared. So I think that would definitely be my scariest.
Yeah, definitely. You do not love that. And your Grandma Miller is also a testament to not loving that ride either. She actually screamed the whole like carriage down when she went on that, and there was a little boy sitting next to her, and he was more frightened of your grandma than he was of the actual ride. So there you go. Freddie, what's the scariest ride you've been on?
Well, I've got two, but I'm going to start with the one that I would not mind admitting first, and that was Rock and Roller Coaster, because it was my first ride I ever did with a loop, and I was worried about the loop. I was worried about the loop when I was in the queue, but when I was actually on the ride, I really enjoyed it. But the second one, I just hate to admit it, but it was Haunted Mansion. I don't know why, but I was just, the first time I went on it, I was terrified. But I was a lot younger.
Yeah. I remember that too. I remember because me and Evie were like, this is just tame. And I remember you getting off with your mum, and you were like you were white as anything. So
I was trying to keep as close to the inside of the carriage as I could.
So Del says that he totally hears what you're saying about the Tower, Evie. It's terrifying. So there you go. Right, guys. So, question from Mr. Danny Perrin. If you could choose one ride to ride, what would it be and why? And I'll come to the second bit in a minute. So, Freddie, if you could choose one ride to ride, what would it be and why?
I would choose Splash Mountain, because even though it was a ride I was introduced to very recently, it is a ride that I fell in love with very quickly, just because it's got a full story, but it's annoying because I know I probably won't get to ever ride it as it is again. Maybe, possibly.
I think you will. It's
Yeah, indeed. And Evie, what ride do you love at the moment?
I think I would have to choose Everest every time. We love that ride at Animal Kingdom. Sometimes, especially when it's dark, we just go on it so many times. I don't know. We lost count how many times we went on it in one trip, but we went on it so many times.
Totally. Absolutely. We did. And we do love that. And the key to that was actually when Flight of Passage was really popular. I still think it's a very popular attraction now. But everybody was heading over to Flight of Passage, and we just headed over to Everest before we went to Tusker House for our breakfast, because obviously everybody knows that we do all love our breakfast. I think we rode it straight for like 6 times before we went to get food. So
it was something like that.
Yeah. So Evie, this one, I know where this is going. What's your favorite musical?
So I am obsessed with Hamilton at the moment, and it's actually quite a new obsession, isn't it? Like, you only introduced it to me like a couple months ago, was it?
About 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 6.
And
it's not that long.
I just thought like it was so good. I loved the music straight away, and now I can probably recite you the whole of the soundtrack, 2 hour and 40-minute soundtrack. So
okay,
yeah.
So I'm pretty certain that you're going to get a request quite soon. So let me just check. No, you haven't. You haven't yet.
Well,
but,
you got it now.
I'm sure they'll probably. Okay, so do you want to give a little bit of a recital of a section of one of the tracks from Hamilton?
I mean, I'm gonna have to do it.
Go on.
Okay, what should I do? Should I do the really fast bit in Satisfied?
Yes. So tell everybody introduce what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm going to be rapping the fastest bit from Hamilton in one of the songs, and it's going to be hard. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I'll try.
Go on, give it a go. Give it a go.
Okay. So this is what it feels like to match with some entry level. What the hell is the catch? It's the feeling of freedom of seeing the light. You spent fracking with a key and a kite. You see it right. The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said total agreement. It's a dream and it's a bit of a dance, a bit of a posture, it's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a float, but I'm gonna give it a chance. Ice and Bud Sammy, did you see his answer? Dance to the fiction, he looks askance. He's penniless, he's fine by the seat of his pants. Oh my god, that was so fast.
That was brilliant. You did go some there, so you've got some great comments there. So Dell's giving you some love there. Who else we got? Kathryn, Mum, stepmother is saying yay. Danny's saying nailed it.
Thank you.
Joe's saying wow, Evie, that's great. So you did an excellent job there. Very, very cool. So let's oh yes, here we go. Abby, as our guest from last week, is saying you're not throwing away your shots. There you go.
Of course.
So that's okay. Let's head back to some questions from everybody. Okay, so I know where this is going to go, but we're going to have to say it. Freddie, what is your absolute must-do restaurant at Walt Disney World? It's the same for all of us, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But you can.
Yeah. Garden Grill, 100%. Their sticky bun is the best thing that's ever been created on this planet. So good.
Yeah. And is it purely breakfast, or can you do, what's the deal?
Well, we've only ever been to Garden Grill for breakfast, haven't we? But I think have we not? Did we go for dinner once?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
How can't I remember?
I can't remember it. No, I can't remember.
Yeah, neither can I. The sticky bun is just all I remember.
So that was in 2013. So we went in the evening for dinner.
I can't remember it. I can only remember the amazing breakfast there. The cinnamon bun is unreal. So that is our mother restaurant. Yeah. As a family, so that's what we need to do. Now, I've got to apologise, everybody. I know that I've got a lag. I've definitely got an internet issue, so just please bear with us. It's live, and these things happen. So hopefully it will rectify itself shortly. So one final question before we kind of talk a bit about our history. Have I ever been embarrassing at Disney?
Yeah.
Or Universal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not remember the laugh floor?
Oh my god!
The chicken.
Laugh floor.
Okay. Tell the listener, the people that are watching that story. Then go on.
You can, Evie. You can.
Okay, so we were at Magic Kingdom one day, and we went to the laugh floor, and obviously we just wanted to have a little sit down, have a little bit of a laugh, have a little bit of the aircon, and we went to like the edge of the row. So we thought there's no way we're going to get picked. And then the camera picks my dad, and basically it's a running joke because the monster, what does he do? He says his name weird. Freddie, you do it. You're better at it than me. He says his name as Lewis, but you do the impression.
Yeah, he goes, Louise.
That was quite funny. And then he made you do like a chicken dance or something in front of the whole theatre. And that was like really embarrassing for us. And then at the end of the day, we went on the monorail, right? And then this guy in the same carriage comes up to my dad and says, "Weren't you the guy from the laugh floor doing the chicken dance?" So we were just
Yes. So I was the one that was hypnotized, basically. If you've ever been to the laugh floor, they pick out different people and they do this thing where they kind of say who you are, and because I'm rubbish at speaking, I always go, my name is Lewis. So of course that then prompted the guy to say what Freddie was about to say.
Louise.
Yeah. So and then they basically said that we're going to hypnotize you, and so I had to pretend to be hypnotized. And then they said, right, when you wake up, you're going to think you're a chicken, and you're going to cluck like a chicken, and you're going to dance like a chicken. And me being me, I just thought, well, I'm going to go for it, full pelt. So I slowly woke up and did the whole chicken clucking thing, and then pretended that I didn't know anything about it when they woke me up. So yeah, I think that was quite embarrassing for you guys. So I do apologise for that. So I do, yeah, indeed. So
I was slightly concerned.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were. So let's just go back a little bit to. I'm just going to go back to first of all, just to our first trip, Evie, because now we don't have that many. I've got some photos, guys, and so this was us when we were there.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah, we look a bit different, don't we? So
a little bit.
Yeah, I just need to take that clip off the screen. Sorry, everybody. There we go. So yes, we do look a bit different, and so Evie, apart from the Bibbity Bobbity boutique side of things, do you remember anything else about that trip?
I don't really do. Like, I remember some key moments, like the Beating the Beast Rose moment and the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. But other than that, I don't really remember any of it.
So when you go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and you are dressed up as a princess, or they can do whatever they do now, excuse me, when you go into the parks afterwards, they really watch out for these guys that have had a makeover. So Evie being like 4 or 5, she just looked like, she looked like she was like 6 or 7 or 8 even, because she was so made up. And there were a couple of things that happened to you. First one was that we went to Hollywood Studios and we went to the Beauty and the Beast show. Evie was picked to be given the rose from Belle, weren't you?
Right? Yeah.
So at the end of the show, you had to go up to the stage, and then Belle and the Beast or the Prince would bend down and give you a little rose and a little wink and blow you a kiss and all that kind of stuff. But we had a special row. We were given our own place to sit. We were treated like treated like royalty.
Yeah,
you were. Yeah. There was another thing that happened that day. We went to, I don't think it's there anymore, but we went to where Launch Bay is now. Do you know where Launch Bay is? You met your favourite stormtroopers and tormented them quite badly. So we went to where Launch Bay is. There was a I can't remember what it was called, but there was a guy that would do the drawings and stuff like that. We went to go and queue up for it. And the cast member there basically saw Evie and my dad. You were with Granddad at the time, and he said to you, "Princesses don't have to wait in line," and literally escorted you and Granddad into the auditorium. Sat you at the very front of the seats. I don't know what else they gave you. Gave you like pins and all sorts of things, and really treated you really well. So, if you do the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, folks, it costs a lot, but it's really worth it, and they do really look after you as well. So I just think that's a really good top tip to let people know. Do you want to add anything onto that, Evie?
Yeah, I've just seen Kathryn put in the chat about me getting lost at SeaWorld, and I think that is definitely one of my memories.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to tell that one?
Yeah. So was it 2010? I was like 5 or
2010.
something. And we went
Yep.
to SeaWorld, and I was just in the play area, and I was just like playing, doing random things in the play area. And I said to my dad, I was like, can you go and wait on the other end and like watch me go down the slide or something?
Yeah. We were in a tunnel. You were doing the tunnels.
Yeah, I was doing the tunnel, and I was like, can you get me from the other side of the tunnel while I go through? So I went to climb up the stairs to go through the tunnel, and there was someone in front of the tunnel basically telling me that I couldn't go down the tunnel. So I had to try and leave the play area. I was only 5 years old. I didn't know where I was going because I thought the only way was to go through the tunnel. And I was like trying to find my dad. I was like, where is he? Where is he? I had no idea where he was. So I found like the nearest cast member or something. And I said, I don't know where my dad is. So they took me to the getting lost center or something. Yeah. And I just sat there for like a couple, I don't know, how long was it? Like 15 minutes or not even that. And I saw my grandparents walk past. So I was like, there's my grandparents. So I went to meet them, and we still had no idea where you were. And then we found you eventually, but that's like a core memory because I was like, just lost, and I was just so scared.
Yeah. So we were actually with Grandma and Granddad, and we were with Dory and Adam and Nigel and Celia at the time. So I think that was 2009. So you were only 4. That 10 minutes to me felt like an hour. It felt like 10 years. And basically, I was standing at one side waiting for Evie to come through. She wasn't there. And then I had to basically was just going backwards and forwards trying to find you, and we just couldn't find you. But to your credit, you just said to a cast member or whatever they are at SeaWorld, I've lost my family. And we found you eventually, which was a real good thing. But it definitely was a very scary time, Claire. So it was definitely very frightening. So there you go. Yeah. So please do take care of yourself. Abby's saying that she's actually got lost in Walmart before, which I'm not surprised because it's a massive place. I think we've lost Freddie in Walmart many a time, but he's just normally let me know where to find him at the electrical department. So
yeah.
So okay, so let's move on. And the time that we went all together in 2013. Now I've got a few more pictures of this, guys. So Freddie, do you remember where did we stay in 2013?
Old Key West.
Okay. And do you remember much?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you remember much about it?
Well, I remember the layout slightly. I remember how it wasn't like a hotel type layout. It was more individual villas, which I thought was really cool. It was more like a community kind of feel, wasn't it? Which was quite cool.
Yeah.
And I remember the river trips, which were quite cool as well.
Absolutely. So you could go on the boat from Old Key West to Disney Springs, and then we did that a few times to get into to Disney Springs. So I'm going to show you a few photos, guys, because this was quite a long time ago, and you probably won't really remember. But
oh my gosh!
So this is Evie and Freddie on the People Mover, and was obviously meeting Mickey and Minnie. And I think that was more than at that time. So that's pretty cool. So that you can see they've kind of grown up a little bit. This is the classic Bruce photo that you have to have. And we were really fortunate enough to be able to go to Cinderella's Royal Table in 2013, which we had a good time at. So that was cool. So that's the kids meeting Cinderella at her Royal Table. We've always had a love for this restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Sci-Fi Diner.
Oh my gosh.
Sci-Fi Diner. Yeah, indeed. So, and just one more thing on there.
Oh my god!
So this is yeah. So Freddie decided that Freddie wanted to buy the wizard's hat, the Mickey wizard's hat. So and we when that was taken, we were actually underneath the wizard hat at the time because you didn't want to go in the Great Movie Ride. So I stayed outside with you while everybody else went in and did that. So there is one more thing that we need to discuss, guys. Well, actually, Evie needs to discuss about our 2013 trip, and that is your incident with the brush.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so I don't know where you guys had gone, but I was going on a ride with my grandparents, and that ride was a Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. So at that point, I was quite protective over my things, and I got worried quite easily. So we went on Space Ranger spin, and I was in one carriage with my grandma, and then my granddad was in the carriage in front of us, and he just put our handbag on the seat next to him. Now, as the ride was going around, the ride suddenly stopped, and we were like, what's going on? What's going on? And someone said that someone's dropped something into the ride, so it can't move anymore. And we were like, oh no, whoever that is gonna feel bad or something. And then we realized that we had dropped the bag, and it had dropped from the seat and into the ride out of the door. So they managed to rescue the bag, and we got off the ride safely. It was fine. But then I realized that my Tangle teaser brush hadn't survived, and that it had got lost. And I was so upset. I don't know why I was upset. I was so upset over this brush. We went to guest relations, and we said, look, can you have a look for this brush because it's so important. And we made a big deal out of it. I was crying. I don't know. It's a bit embarrassing looking back on it, but that was just me being a typical 7-8-year-old. Yeah, the tears.
Yeah, the tears. I tell you, that was the end of the world.
That was.
It literally, I want to say we had that for, I don't know, a day at least, off and on. There were tears because of this flipping Tangle teaser. But yeah, I mean, it certainly to be involved in a situation where something's happened where you've actually stopped a ride is quite something too as well. So we've certainly experienced a few things, and certainly Evie's always been very. Since that point, Evie's always been very, very, very careful about bags on rides. If I've ever carrying a bag on a ride, I have to have it through my legs. I have to have
it through your leg wrapped up twice.
Yeah,
I have to check on you every time.
Yeah, she's absolutely so. Yes, so please be careful with bags on rides, people. that would be really good. Now, let's move on before Freddie falls asleep. So because we've got to get Freddie back involved here. He hasn't said much for a while, so let's get him back in. So, guys, I don't have many photos with regards to our trip in 2017. I've only managed to cover one.
This is very embarrassing.
I just want to apologise
with the embarrassing thing. Dale, that question you asked earlier, this is the most embarrassing moment.
Well, you know, the I wasn't wearing a bag there, but you can see the strap marks on my rucksack. Let's put it that way. It was warm, so in my defence. it was warm in my defence. But that was the first time we were on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So that was certainly a fun thing. But we did something a little bit different in 2017. Freddie, can you just tell everyone where we stayed and how we did our trip in 2017?
Yeah. So in 2017, we decided to stay off-site, and we stayed really not that far. Where did we stay? Like, it was fairly like...
It was Devonport. So it was about 30 minutes away.
Was it? It didn't feel like that long, but I guess I can't remember the journey then. But it was. I did enjoy it, but I do enjoy the Disney resorts more personally. That's just what I prefer. But I thought it was a good experience in 2017. It felt almost as if we lived there, which was quite funny.
Mum's saying you don't remember it because you stepped on every journey.
That is true.
Oh, that would be why. Then I still do that now.
Yeah. So turtle face is what we called him.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we discovered actually on that trip is something in that we had the way that we had to actually work as a family, and with the structure of our day. Evie, why don't you just explain how we kind of structured our day, probably how we kind of worked into that mode sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we found that what worked best for us as a family is going to the parks really early in the morning, and like spending time at one park, coming back at like midday for lunch to the pool and just relax while it's really hot outside. And then we would go back in the evening for dinner and, spend the rest of the evening at the parks. And that seemed to work well with us because, we needed that rest in the middle of the day for pool time. And, the parks were really busy and crowded at the middle of the day. It was really hot. So we found that just worked best for us.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And particularly for... Go on, Freddie. Sorry.
And we still found, though, that was the right thing to do when we were staying on site. We would still go back to the Caribbean beach, which was in 2018. That's what we did.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of found that just going into the parks with you guys who at the time were kind of like 10, 11 and then 12 going into 13. Even at that point, you didn't have the stamina to kind of do a whole day in the park, and we did try to do that initially, but it just didn't work for us because like Freddie would just get absolutely worn out. Mainly Freddie. I mean, Evie would get tired as well, but she would just kind of go on with it. But Freddie would just really flag, and so it just wasn't a pleasant experience for him or for Kathryn or for any of us really. So we found that worked best for us, so that's kind of a top tip for guys who have kids, particularly young kids going all the way up to teenagers. Having that rest period in a day is really important, especially when you go in the summer in the heat of the day. God, it can be really, really draining. So let's just have a look at some. And guys, if you guys watching, please do ask some questions. I'm going to come back to some questions in a minute, but let's just see what Danny's got to say. I'm sorry, I've clicked the button. So since having kids the new way, we are going to do it too. Up early, hotel at midday for lunch, swim, nap, and then back to the parks after. I mean, it works really well, Danny. And as much as you get older, you kind of want to just make the most of it. Actually, having that time as a family as well, really important, just to relax and chill. So that's Claire says, never mind young kids, Lewis, I have to do the same. So yeah, well, I think we all do. This is a question that has been asked before, and I think I missed it. So Paula has said, what are your must-have snacks in Disney? Freddie, let's go to you first.
Okay, well, that's an easy one to answer for me. I don't think next time we go to Disney, I don't think I'm going to even be able to manage the first day without a toffee apple. I don't think I'm going to be able to manage that. When it's there, when I know I can get one, I'm not going to be able to manage it without it. My favourite snack, definitely.
It is a lot of snack credits have gone on toffee apples.
Yeah,
that's for certain. That's for certain. Evie, how about you? I know what it is, but tell me else.
I mean, I feel like me and Freddie both have our one snack that we just love and we don't stop going on about. So Freddie has his toffee apple, and I love Mickey crispy cakes, like the Rice Krispie treats with marshmallow. They are so good, and I so miss them, and I would literally go back to Disney just to get one.
Absolutely, you certainly like. You know, the Rice Krispie bar things. They just don't hack it, do they, Evie? If you the Rice Krispie bar things, you know, the ones that we buy sometimes.
Oh yeah, the ones in the UK,
the marshmallow ones. Yeah,
they don't compare.
Yeah, they just don't.
They don't compare.
Yeah, they just don't. Like, so there you go. All right, Danny's asking this, and this is going to be quite a good question because you've not done either. So,
No.
Would you prefer to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party? Evie, what do you think about that?
That's really difficult because we haven't been to either just because of like school and things like that. I don't know if I could pick because I think I would go for Halloween actually, because I'm not the big lover of Halloween in this family, but it just looks so good at Disney. And I think the main reason why is because I get to meet Lotso, who's like my favorite character. I don't know if you can see, but he's there. And you basically just get endless candy. So that's great.
Yeah, indeed. Freddie, how about you? What do you think you prefer?
Now, you see, this is very tricky because I used to love Halloween so much. I would love it. Like, it was the best thing ever. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of leaned more towards Christmas side of things now. And even though I've seen videos like from DFB Guide and things of the Mickey's Not So Scary, Christmas is just my favorite time of year. So I'd probably choose Mickey's Very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, very, very cool. I mean, I think the ideal thing for us would be to go the last week of October into the first week of November and get to see a little bit of both. But that will come at some point, definitely in the future. So let's just have a look at another. Like Matt, you know the answer to this, surely. Matt is asking, Evie, Freddie, have you ever eaten at Casey's Corner?
No,
I don't think so.
No, we've never eaten at Casey's Corner. As a family, we've never, ever eaten there. So, sorry, just coming back to your point, Evie. Danny said, I had so many snack credits left in 2017. I came back with about 10 Rice Krispie treats. I mean, that's your ideal of heaven,
yeah,
isn't it?
I mean, of course.
Yep.
And I think I came back with one of those and I had the last one and I was like savouring it when I was back in the UK, and I brought back the last one of my snack credits and it was a Rice Krispie treat, and I was just like, this needs to last forever. I can't eat it too quickly.
Yeah, you do. Right. So last question before we carry on and talk about our last trip and what we're going to do in the future. So your favorite shop or restaurant in Disney Springs? Freddie, now let me just explain about Freddie. Freddie loves the shop. I mean, The first thing that Freddie will do when we get into Magic Kingdom, he'll go straight for the Emporium. Literally,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to look at the castle or anything. He just wants to go straight into the Emporium.
Yeah.
So, Freddie, why don't you tell us about your favourite Disney Springs restaurant or shop?
So my favorite restaurant at Disney Springs is definitely T-Rex, and T-Rex and Rainforest Cafe, they're quite similar, but I don't know why I've loved T-Rex so much, but I love the inside of it. I love all the crystals and the moving dinosaurs and stuff. I think it's really cool. But my favorite shop at Disney Springs is definitely World of Disney. It's probably not my favorite shop out of the whole of Disney in Florida, but it is still very good because it kind of gives a bit of everything, really.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And why don't you just tell everybody what your favourite shop in Walt Disney World is?
Oh, no, definitely Mouse Gear. I don't know why, but Mouse Gear is just, as soon as I see it, I just want to go straight in.
Yeah, indeed. Mouse Gear. I mean, I don't know what it's like now. I think it's a shadow of its former self, unfortunately. But hopefully, when it gets put back to where it was or put back to normal, it will be a lovely a shop as it was before. So, Evie, what's your favourite restaurant and shop in Disney Springs?
Yeah, so I agree with Freddie, everything he said. I really like them too. But I'm going to choose different ones. My favorite restaurant would be, like T-Rex is really good and I love it, but I would have to choose Blaze Pizza, because it is such a good way. Like, we always go there on our last day, and it's just a good way to end the holiday. And I don't really like cheese on my pizza, so it's good that you can make your own because I don't have cheese on it. So I don't know, it's really nice. And then my favorite shop, I would have to say the candy store. I think we've already established that I really like
Goofy's.
The Goofy's candy store. So when you walk in and you just see all these snacks in front of you, that is like my idea of heaven. That is amazing.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna also. Do you have a favourite store in Walt Disney World?
I think I would have to agree with Freddie on this one. Mouse Gear is a really cool shop, and I feel like we just spend half of our Epcot days in that store. So
it's true. So if I'm allowed to answer this question as well, because I feel like I
know what you're going to say.
So I'm going to.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Go on, you predict it then.
You are going to say Wolfgang Puck.
Is correct. Wolfgang Puck Express. Yep.
Oh, and shop. Oh, you're probably just going to say World of Disney as well, right?
No.
Well, let me guess. Emporium.
No. I'm going to say the Co-op. Where the co-op, not the co-op down the road. The cooperative where the gallery, the Wonderland Gallery is, where we got all the prints from. So I'm pretty sure it's called the cooperative.
Just the way you said it just sounded like the co-op.
Just gonna go down the co-op. Yeah, not the co-op down the road. So yes, the I think it's called Wonderland Gallery, where they do all the prints and stuff. I absolutely love it in that place. So that's probably my favourite. Yeah, somebody knows what I'm talking about. Jay says the co-op is great, so I'm not making well. So yeah, indeed. Yeah. So anyway, there we go. Are we gonna? Is that right? Cool. Okay, so let's just talk about our last trip, because actually we did some quite different stuff, and we've only got about 10 minutes to go. So why don't we talk about Evie? Let's talk. Well, both of you. Let's talk about Laura.
Okay. So we went on the plane. This was our when we went to Orlando. We got on the plane, and the pilot made an announcement and basically thanked all the staff on board. And then at the end of his long-winded speech, he said, "Thanks to Laura," as well. And we had no idea who Laura was, and everyone was like, "Who's Laura?" So that was the start of our what was it called? Employee list or something. So
Cast member list.
Cast member list.
Cast member list. So in 2018, in our last trip, me and Freddie found that we were getting a bit old for autographs, if that's a thing. If you get old for them, I think some adults still do it. But we were started to, not be really interested in autographs anymore. So instead, we had our favorite cast members, and we wrote all of our favorite cast members down in a list. So I have the list on my phone, and Laura is on the top of this list. And every cast member on this list, we would know exactly where that was and what happened with that cast member and why they're on the list.
Yep. Okay. So do you want to highlight a few, and maybe you and Freddie can explain who they are? And by the way, I'm just putting this little tab here to say who we are as well, because that you can explain that one as well. Maybe the Myler family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start with the list. So this is the list on my phone. There's loads of cast members that we really had a good moment with. I don't know. So I'll start with the first one, and Freddie will be able to tell you exactly where this person was. So Pogdu Steve.
We hope.
That was Garden Grill. Pogdu Steve, absolute legend.
Okay, what about Hong Kong Raymond?
He was at what is the place called in Hollywood Studios?
Backlot Express.
Yeah, that's it. That's where we met him, and me and him had a good chat about Nintendo characters for a while.
Okay. What about the Shiny twins?
They were the guys. That's not to say guys. They were the women who were in the Japanese section of
World Showcase.
That's it. World Showcase.
Okay, I'll give you one more. Derpy Doris.
Derpy Doris was in the cafeteria in the land. She was in the land, just underneath Garden Grill, and she gave me a whopping creme brulee.
See,
and I kid you not. I kid you. Sorry, go on, Evie.
Go on. Okay, I can just say all of these cast members on the list, hopefully, and they would know like what happened between them. And I felt like it was quite a cool way of like storing our interactions with these people, and like just keeping our memories and writing them down. So I thought that was quite a creative way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kid you not, if Doris was a day under 95, like I'd be shocked. I mean, bless her. I think we ordered 3 vanilla iced coffees and a drink and a cake, and I think it took us 20 minutes to get served. She was so lovely though, and it was absolutely awesome. And I think what actually, this is a really good point and a really good hint and tip. Really, it's the cast members are awesome, and they just want to help you. So and some of them can have a bit of an off day. And our lady at Sci-Fi Diner wasn't the happiest person in the world, and then called us the Myler family. But generally, these are the memories that we have to take away with us, and it's a special time, and we just have to remember these cast members are doing an incredible job. So do take some time to get to know them, speak to them, and take some memories away. And Freddie, this one's for you. We've just got to mention this one very quick. If I have my system to go right. Mum says, "What about talking toilet chip?" I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, it was the other way around. Toilet talking chip. Now, this guy, I went into the toilet just before we went to World Showcase, and this guy was in there cleaning the toilets, and I saw on his badge that he was called Chip as I walked in. And so I went into one of the small cubicle things, and then he started having a chat with me through the cubicle.
Oh dear! But
he made it
that was a memory.
Yeah,
he made it onto the list. That was a memory, and definitely. So that's so we obviously we did that. We also did a few other things that were a bit different. So first of all, let's just look at this picture. This was the first time that we got to Caribbean Beach, and actually that was our very first day. And just as we had arrived to our room, the heavens opened, and it was baking hot, and we could just see the rain coming down. But one of the things that we did, which was different to our normal trip, our other trips, was that we went and visited different resorts. We spent a morning going around to a few different resorts. Now, Freddie, tell us about that. Can you remember where we went?
The resort hopping.
Yeah.
So we went to quite a lot, actually, didn't we? We started, I don't know what order we went in, but we visited Pop Century, and I remember that one because even I think the Americans like that one quite a lot, but we weren't very big fan of that too much.
No.
We also went to Wilderness Lodge, which would have been my place to stay, my dream place to stay. I loved that place. So cool. And then we also went to Art of Animation, which was Art of Animation. I mean, what is there to say? It was just it was really cool because they had different sections, like all of the swimming pool section in the middle was themed with Finding Nemo, and then you had the Lion King in another section. So that was pretty cool. Where else did we visit? We visited
Wilderness Lodge. Did you say that?
Yeah,
he said that.
All right, sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, so
I think we just went to those three.
No, we didn't. We went to Port Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we did.
So that was us in the lobby of Wilderness Lodge, and that was really cool. So definitely have a day park hopping. Definitely have a day not park hopping. Resort hopping. Sorry, my alarm's just going off there. Have a day resort hopping. It's actually really good to see different resorts, and we kind of discovered where we'd like to stay as well in the future, didn't we? So I think everyone has Wilderness Lodge at the top of their bucket list for sure. So it's very cool. Then the other thing that we've done, which was slightly different. I think this is. Let me just see what this is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes. We need to talk about the food. A couple of things about food. Now, obviously, that's our garden grill breakfast, and as everybody knows, we love a garden grill breakfast. But not every restaurant is as good as Garden Grill, is it, Evie?
No. I mean, no restaurant is as good as Garden Grill, but some of them aren't the best.
Yeah.
So do you remember where that is?
Yeah, so that restaurant on the right picture where my face is, I don't know what I'm doing, but that restaurant is in the Pyramid in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. And we thought, it looks quite nice. It looks quite a nice atmosphere in there. You watch the boat go by to the Three Caballeros. And so we decided to eat there because we were like, it looks pretty cool, right? We didn't have a very good experience, did we?
No.
No.
It was very, very dark in there. And they basically, when we walked in, there was like plates and food on the floor because it was so dark they couldn't see it. And actually, we didn't. Another top tip, people, is always try and read the menu before you go to a restaurant. Like literally, there was nothing really for Evie, and the server basically said to Evie, "Do you trust me to order for you?" And she stupidly went, "Yeah, okay."
What could I say? He was like, "Do you trust me to order for you?"
Yeah, do you trust me?
And I was like, "Not really, but okay."
Yeah, and so and so something came out for Evie, and she just really didn't love it at all.
I take responsibility for that because we each had a night where we could choose where we wanted to go, and that was my night. Yeah, one of my nights.
It was your night. That's true.
Yeah.
So, but just be very careful about where you go when you're going with a family. Do take a look at the menu because it's quite important to make sure that everybody's fed and watered correctly. Okay, so we'll have to move on quite quickly now because we've hit just over the hour mark, and I'm sure there might be a few more questions and stuff to ask you before we wrap up. But I really wanted to talk about this because this was a great little experience for us as a family. So Evie, I'll come to you first, and you just walk through what's happening here.
Yeah, so in the Japanese pavilion at Epcot in World Showcase, there's actually in the store where you can pick a pearl out of one of the what they called the clam shells. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, oyster.
The oysters. And you basically pick an oyster, and they do this whole display of opening the oyster, and you get the pearl, and you can basically put it on any jewelry you want. You can buy a necklace for it, which is what I did, and I'm actually wearing it now. And you can put it on earrings or anything. Yeah. So this is my
right, so Evie, do you just want to show them?
Oh, yeah, I can try. This is my necklace. This is a key, and it's got the pearl inside. I don't know if you can see. It's got the pearl inside of there, which is what I got out of the oyster in the Japanese pavilion, which is pretty cool because I just watched it be opened, and then I get that as my necklace.
So, Freddie, can you remember how to say? What was there? Was it 1, 2, 3? Or
it was san ni ichi.
Yeah.
I think it was 3, 2, 1, or so, I'm not. Yeah, it was
3, 2, 1.
They did this whole like show of them opening it. They bang like drums, and they make you say 3, 2, 1 in Japanese, and it's really cool. It's quite an experience, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just say something?
For $15. Sorry, go, Freddie.
That T-shirt that you can see me wearing there was the most annoying T-shirt because the part where it says Super Mario would stick to my chest because it was like rubbery. It was the most annoying T-shirt I think I've ever worn. Not a Florida T-shirt at all.
Okay. Note to mother. That's not a Florida.
Don't wear Mario T-shirts.
No rubber writing on T-shirts for Florida going forward. So that was a really awesome experience. We actually did it like 4 times in the end because Evie got a special treat with her reminder, her pearl key necklace for her reminder. We bought one for Kathryn as well, and then we decided to buy the grandparents one as well. So we did experience 4 times.
They're really good gifts as well because you can like video it of them opening it at Disney World, and it's like a piece of jewelry that is pretty cool.
Yeah, indeed. So I think it was $15 to do that, and then obviously you have to pay for the jewelry on top. But very, very cool thing to do. Now, I don't know why I put this in.
Oh no.
Well, I do know why I put this in. This is us going to going into Fire Passage, but you might notice that Evie's in the background. This was Evie's standard pose.
Why?
Just because we had to do it. So there you go, people.
Why?
That's an embarrassing dad moment for you right there.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
That's all right. No worries. You're absolutely welcome. Okay, so we've talked about we've talked hopping. We've talked about garden grill. Okay, so the other thing we should just need to mention is obviously the characters. When you meet characters, especially as the kids get older, there's just absolutely no harm in having fun with them. And this is Freddie taking the mickey out of Kylo Ren. He basically was not scared of Kylo Ren whatsoever, and yeah. So that was that's definitely. Any tips, guys, for meeting characters as you get older?
Yeah. So I think sometimes like we didn't do autograph books, so we have to kind of make our own conversation with the characters. And I think a really good way of doing that was asking them questions. So me and Freddie decided that we were going to ask some characters, like what ride they preferred, and they would just like signal to which one they preferred. And I think it was at Garden Grill, actually. I said, do you prefer Test Track or Spaceship Earth or something? And I think it was Dale. Dale said that he preferred Test Track. So he kind of signaled to take me on Test Track, and he basically ran out of the restaurant with me. And when we got outside the restaurant, he took me back in. But it was quite a cool little moment because he was like pretending for us to go on Test Track. So I think really when you get older, really start to make your own conversation, and the characters will interact with it and they'll make fun of it, and that's just the best thing you can do.
Definitely. Freddie, any favourite character moments?
Probably just Chip and Dale. I do like Garden Grill for their character interactions because they're normally quite quick at coming around. We have had one time where it was a little bit slow, but it was probably the busiest time we've been to Garden Grill. But yeah, I liked the launch bay as well. I thought that was really, really fun.
Talk about our stormtroopers.
Definitely.
The stormtrooper moment.
Go on.
Go on, Freddie. Talk about stormtroopers.
Oh yeah. So we were a little bit cocky that day, and we went and made fun of some Star Wars characters. We took the Mickey out of them a little bit, but it was just a bit of fun. We went and we met Kylo Ren probably like 3 times when we were at Launch Bay, but it was pretty empty. So yeah.
Definitely have some fun with the characters. They do enjoy their interaction. That's what they're there for and paid to do. So, okay, guys. So we're coming to the end of our time together. So I'm going to let the guys, if anybody wants to ask you guys any more questions. But before we do come to the end, I've just got to ask you. Is there anything that you feel that you have to take with you when you go to Florida? Obviously, when you've got to take your money and your passports, but is there anything that you have to take with you to make your enjoyment of Florida more? Freddie, you're nodding your head. Say yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, you could buy one there, but we've already got one. I'm pretty sure ours are we probably need to get a new one, but it's definitely the water fans, just because walking around with those is just it's so good. It's like having free air conditioning.
Okay, I think Evie was going to say the same, right?
Yeah, I made a little list actually on a little piece of paper because I knew you were going to ask me this. And the first one I put, oh no, I've dropped it. Sorry. The first one I put was a water spray or a fan or something, because when you're queuing up and it gets hot or you're just in the park, it can be nice to just spray yourself with a bit of cold water. So that's really helpful. try and get a small one though, because some of them are quite big and heavy.
Yeah.
I also put a cardigan or a light shawl kind of thing, because when you're in a restaurant or a attraction that has really blasting air conditioning, sometimes it can get a bit cold. So
T-Rex.
especially when we were at T-Rex and I was drinking this massive icy slushy thing and it was freezing, I got really cold. So I definitely put in your bag like a little light cardigan that you could just put in the corner of your bag. And the last thing I put was a water bottle. And what we normally do is we fill them up and then we freeze them the night before. So that when we go in the park, we have ice cold water right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really good tips. And obviously, if you're staying in a resort, it's a bit more difficult to freeze your water bottles. But if you've got a villa or whatever, you just buy bottles of water, stick them in the freezer, and then you take them out. And as they melt, it's just nice cold water there. So really good tips there, guys. Thank you so much. Before we go, we've got just a couple more minutes. But before we go, I've got your quick fire would you rathers. Now I do need these to be really quick, so first thing that comes into your mind, and I'm going to go to Evie first, then Freddie. So the same question to both of you, but if Evie can answer first and then Freddie. Okay, so
Okay.
easy one first. Would you rather go to Walt Disney World or Universal Studios?
Disney World.
Disney World.
Okay. Would you rather eat a Rice Krispie treat or a toffee apple?
Rice Krispie treat all the way.
Toffee apple. Definitely.
I thought that might be the way. Okay. Number 3. Would you rather ride Spaceship Earth or Space Mountain with the lights on?
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Nice. Would you where is it? Here we go. Would you rather do the Carousel of Progress or Stitch's Great Escape 20 times in a row?
No. You can't do that. That's so mean.
I just
Do you know what? Even though I hate it, and because it's shorter, and because it's no longer there, I would go Stitch's Great Escape.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. I guess.
Even though I hate it. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather ride Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey or Flight of Passage?
Oh.
Controversial, but I think Forbidden Journey, because I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably go Flight of Passage just because we've only done it once and we did Forbidden Journey a lot. So.
Okay. Cool. You can only eat at one of these: Garden Grill or Tusker House for dinner.
What, both of them for dinner?
You can only eat at one of them.
Garden Grill.
I can't remember, but I'm gonna go Garden Grill. I guess it's pretty much the same food-wise.
Okay, cool. Let's move on. You can only save one of these. The other one is going to be scrapped on the scrap heap. Happily Ever After or Fantastic?
No. Oh no.
Oh,
This
no.
is too much of a quick fire question.
You can't do that. That's mean. I would save Happily Ever After.
Okay.
I think
Ready?
I would keep Fantasmic and scrap Happily Ever After. Oh no.
I think it's just because Happily Ever After just gives me chills, literally, and I will hate it when that goes.
Yeah.
definitely your fireworks show for sure. Okay, last two. You can either would you rather go to Pandora or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at night time?
I think the Harry Potter, because there's just more to do, I think.
I would say Pandora, just because I love the floating islands.
Yeah. I mean, the theme in there is awesome, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Okay, very last question, guys. And you know, you've been awesome tonight, so thank you so much for this. So, are you more looking forward to, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway or Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure?
Everyone raves about Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, so I think I'm going to have to go with that.
Yeah, I will too, because it's more of a roller coaster type thing, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, guys, you have been awesome, and I know that we are due to go. We were due to go last year. We couldn't go, obviously. We're due to go this year, but our trip's in July. So I think we're kind of hoping that we can still make that trip, but we'll just have to wait and see. But how desperate are you to kind of get back? Freddie, how desperate are you to get back?
Oh, very desperate. But I'm not looking forward to seeing everyone wearing a mask. That's the only thing. But I just want to be there now.
Yeah, indeed. Evie?
Yeah, I'm so desperate. I'm too desperate because I'm like preparing myself for the worst, because I know that if we don't go, I'm going to be so disappointed, because that's how desperate I am to go.
Yeah, indeed. Well, guys, you have been awesome, and I'm sorry to everybody who's watching this. This has been quite a long show, but we had quite a lot to talk about, and so I do hope you've enjoyed it. And if you haven't managed to keep up with us, then hopefully you'll watch it back and you'll get some of those hints and tips. But I'm sure there's some people on now saying, "Well done." Yes, here we go. A Facebook user is saying, "Well done, Freddie and Evie."
Thank you.
Paula saying, "Well done, guys." Yeah. So Joe saying, "Well done." Danny's saying, "Honest the episode, guys. Well done." So yeah, people have enjoyed it, and we're so grateful for that. People have stuck around and joined in with the conversation with us. So we really, really do appreciate you all joining with us. So for now, I'm sure you might come on again in the future, especially if we get to do our trip later on in the year. But for now, let's just say farewell to Freddie. Bye, Freddie.
Goodbye.
Bye. And to Evie.
Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments. Yeah, I just really appreciate the fact that we've had the opportunity to speak to Evie and Freddie and get their hints and tips for Florida. They've done incredibly well, and I've probably kept them on far longer than they were expecting, but they did brilliantly. So that just leaves me to say thank you to all of you for sticking around and joining in the conversation. Yeah, it's been fun. If you've enjoyed the show, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, that would be awesome. And do share it around with your friends and your family. Just let them know that you've been listening, because we do try and want to help people have the best possible time. Also, if you are planning on booking any kind of holiday trip, I have to say it, I'm sorry, but if you are planning on booking any kind of trip or holiday, particularly to Walt Disney World or Universal, please do consider giving me a call at Your Great Adventures. Do check us out on Facebook or on the web. I'd be delighted to help you. I do my very best to be competitive and to give you the best possible service. So I just felt like I needed to say that. Also, if you haven't already, please do get onto the Get Binky Do What Makes You Happy Facebook group, where so a lot of you guys I know already are, but if you're kind of watching this at another time, please go and check that out. Our friends Del and Jen are brilliant at Get Binky, and they it's a very welcoming community, and it's one of the loveliest communities I've been part of, Disney communities. So do check them out. Next week I have the pleasure of chatting to Ben Goodin from Adventures with Zach. Please do note that the time and the date change, or the day change, which is next Thursday the 11th at 7:30. I'll be chatting to Ben, and he'll be giving some hints and tips on traveling with people with special needs, and he's got lots of good information which I think will be invaluable to so many people. So do join us again next week. Again, please remember it's Thursday the 11th. That's it for me. Again, thank you so much for sticking with us. Have a lovely week, and just remember, your adventure is out there. Have a good one, guys.